Yeah, I mean, they've already become very experimental and attempted to do weird things with technology. The United States, for some reason, you know, we had computer clubs back in the homebrew days when a group of smart people from Stanford or MIT or what have you would play around and make their own memory arrays and plug them into microprocessors and make a personal computer out of a bunch of chips. But that kind of died out. So hacker to us meant something completely different. But you started getting gray hats, black hats, whatever kind of description of people who were just really enthusiastic about computers, going to Germany, going to the Chaos Computer Camp, and hanging out. And they share ideas about, hey, why don't you guys hang out in the physical world? Why do you spend all this time on bulletin boards? Shouldn't you guys be, I don't know, building shit, making robots? I don't know, fun things. So eventually, a couple of campers decided, yeah, let's do it. And as far as I know, it's a group of 5 people who I'll never remember, but yay to them, who decided we're starting this shit up in the U.S. Started in New York, San Francisco, and I don't think it was Chicago, I forget. So sorry, whatever, third city.
Like how long ago?
And they exploded from 2007,
Okay.
not long ago.
Which one was the first one in San Francisco or New York?
Yeah. And it was kind of a simultaneous, like, we're all doing this. Like, we're going back to the places where we come from, and we're all going to do it. Pretty much simultaneously right after that camp. So someone who's better versed in how this all rolled can tell you, but at this point there are thousands of them, and they're all doing their own thing in the U.S. And of course they're pretty much name your point on the map.
What would you say the breakdown is?
So the breakdown,
hardware and software.
Oh God, it's almost all software enthusiasts trying to do hardware in our culture.
Really?
I mean, in the U.S., yeah. It's like, oh, look at all these web developers who now want to, you know, make some little robot on the table.
Want to build a house.
Yeah, I want to build a house. Yeah, I'm gonna start big. So, I mean, every hackerspace has its own ethos, but it's sort of like we spent too much time on message boards and writing software. Let's make the software do something, or let's play with microcontrollers. And Bray Pettis and the MakerBot was one of the early branch offs. I sort of see hackerspaces as great incubators.
Sure.
It's like, this is our clubhouse where we do stupid shit.
Right.
And no one's going to judge us, and they'll probably come in here and go, you know, what would improve that idea is to, you know, invert the diode there so that you can drive that as a photodiode and use that as a cheap sensor. It takes $2 off your parts. You know, so that sort of technical nerdery is you're not going to stay on one topic in any given hackerspace. So we tend to do a lot with CNC equipment. We have a popular vehicle bay, so people are lifting their trucks because it's Texas. But pretty much anything. You know, the idea is just, if you can't open it, you don't own it, and you should be involved in every step of your technology. Hey, pretty much it.
What are some of the more famous ones? Like, so I know MakerBot.
Came out of.
But what are some of the other more famous? Like not famous, but you know, like more
the big ones
that have sprung out of something like that.
Well, I don't know. Arch Reactor is Artist Asylum in Boston is really trying to fuse design and, you know, arts. But I'm a creative person. I don't know anything about technology. Teach me to make a lathe or, you know, something high tech. San Francisco has
Noisebridge.
a lot. Noisebridge is one of the big ones. So yeah, you're blanking me.
I'm sorry. Yeah. What is Noisebridge?
Noisebridge is a hackerspace that
It's been around since 2007.
There's the frog.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that have come out of it?
There's the frog.
Well, there are. Have you seen those little vibrating toothbrush toys? No. Okay. Well, you put a vibratory motor on a toothbrush, and you'll be amazed at how fast those stupid things go.
Oh yeah. Like okay. I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Pretty much all the 3D printers you're familiar with have emerged from some hackerspace. That's their favorite toys.
Right.
The laser saw was.
Sorry, there's a frog.
Yeah.
It's our pet frog.
Is he the one who was making that weird noise?
I don't know if it's him. That might be like his wife under the sink that we never see.
Ah, so he's the silent bachelor type, maybe. Well, I would say, I mean, learning to solder. There are my friend Jeff Kaiser, who moved to Seattle. While he was around, he did some interesting things. Like he was involved in a project to monitor Fukushima radiation by building a quick and dirty board that would just log things onto a chip, so that you could, basically attach a I forget what the name of the tube is that is excited by radioactivity. But anyway, yeah, if you buy one either from Soviet surplus or from various different places, he figured out a microcontroller that would monitor that, so that you could quickly get a bunch of hackerspaces just deploying them. And so some of the scientific data that came from, oh look, there's radiation in the U.S. from Fukushima, was from those loggers.
Wow. Okay.
Let's see. There's some interesting things in the Arab Spring that is a little more gray or black hat,
Sure. Yeah.
which was about cryptography and Tor and securing the means of communication to coordinate that sort of behavior, which came from hackerspaces of completely nondescript and totally kind intentions.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, they're just really young right now, so the main enthusiasm is in laser swords and lulz bots and you name it.
Right.
Also, things like just the idea of making standardized parts just for open hardware, like MakerBeam. So there's been a lot of do it yourself. Here is this project that isn't finished yet, but